Hi everyone. So today I'm so excited because I'm doing a collab with my friend Mariam. I did a collab with her last year, quite a while ago, and she mentioned that this is her favorite palette from Juvia's Place. So I was like, I need to pull that out of my collection and use this again. I honestly have not used a Juvia's Place palette in months and months and months. So yeah, we both decided to do a Project 5 Wears using this palette. Basically, if you don't know what a Project 5 Wears is, I started doing a Project 10 Wears to replace kind of my 10 Looks On palette, because instead of showing you the whole process, I'm going to show you some clips of how I got there, but it's not going to be like full on detail, like what brush I used and, you know, real time showing you how I got there. It's just giving you inspiration on if you've got this palette, if you've got these colors, let's use our makeup and let's see what we can create with the palette. We're both working mums, so it kind of makes sense to kind of, instead of 10 wears, we'll just do 5. I mean, 5 is good enough, right? And if we each do 5, then that's 10 in total anyway. So hope you enjoy the looks that we've created. I'm gonna leave Mariam's channel in the description bar below and in the cards. Go check her out. She is so creative and talented with makeup. And we both have kind of different preferences and different ways of applying makeup as well. So hopefully that will give you a good variety of looks from this palette, because there are 9 shades in here. She's also part of the Mothership Pan Challenge, so check that out, because I feel like she's probably doing a lot better than most of us, because she's very consistent and I am totally not. So she's a real good inspiration and encouragement as well for me. So this is the first look I've done today with the Saharan 2 palette. I've predominantly, as you might guess, used the bottom row. I think that this bottom row is so sultry and beautiful. Beautiful kind of berry tones. Now that we're kind of getting into cooler months, I don't know, I think these tones just suit the weather. The colors that kind of pop out to me is this gorgeous deep wine shade, and this brown as well. So I just wanted to stick with mostly matte. So the first shade I went in with was Taza, and I used that in the outer V. I started in the outer V, but then took it along the crease. And I did want to really blend it out and diffuse it and just make it quite soft. I don't know why, but for some reason I just had a bit of trouble on this side than this one. The pigmentation is boom, right there when you put your brush in and you put it on your eyelid. It's so pigmented, and then you just have to, well, I had to just take my time and just blend it out and blend it out and blend it out just to diffuse it nicely, which it did eventually. Then I went in with this gorgeous shade, my favorite matte from this palette, just specifically in the outer V and the inner corner, because I wanted to, well, I kind of decided last minute I wanted to a halo eye, because I just think like I wanted to feature this shade more predominantly in my eye look today. I have used a little bit of shimmer as well, mostly these two, so again kind of kept in that kind of berry toned family. I used a bit of Nomad on the center, pairs beautifully with this shade. I think these two shades work really well together, but then because I wanted something a bit lighter right in the center, I added also a little bit of Marrakesh, just the tiniest bit. And then on the lower lash line, I've got a mixture of Fez, Taza, and a little bit of that Marrakesh on the center. I've tried to keep it quite soft and romantic, and I think it is really gorgeous. I haven't used these kind of shades in a very long time, and I haven't touched this palette in a very long time, and I do like it. But I did find that, you know, the mattes just take a little bit of work. The pigmentation is there, but you just have to just take your time and blend them out so that they kind of look more diffused, unless, you know, you just want that pop of color right there. The metallics, I didn't use any glitter base or sticky base, and they go on really nicely as well. So yeah, I think that's all I want to say about this look today. Nothing too complicated, just used 5 of the 9 shades. Also on my lips, I'm wearing this Eccentric Cosmetics liquid lipstick in Namib Sand. The label is kind of rubbed off because I've used it so frequently. I really like this. This is actually a Melbourne indie brand on Etsy, and they've got some gorgeous shades on their website, so very comfortable lips. So this is the second look I've created with the Saharan 2 palette. Kept it really simple this time, basically just used 2 shades. This one all over the eyelid. This is a matte brown shade, it's called Fez, and then a little bit of Berber on the Lower Lash Line as a pop of color. I'll admit I was very tempted just to use this shade because this is actually a really gorgeous shade and I found it really, really easy to blend. And I was using this brush today. This is a new brush. This is from the brand Refa. They actually sent me a whole bunch of their brushes and I used this all over the lid, blended it out starting from the crease and just diffused it, and it just made things so easy. So far I'm really enjoying this brush. This is the 01 brush. On my lips is one of my favorite shades from Melt Cosmetics. This is the 710 Ultra Matte Lipstick. It's a gorgeous kind of yellow, brown, orange. I like it. But yeah, really simple. Sorry I didn't actually show you what I was doing today because I was just sitting in front of the couch watching some YouTube and just didn't feel like showing you the whole process. But honestly, it was very, 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 very simple. It's just 2 shades, bang, done. Haven't used any primer either. So I have noticed that these eyeshadows do actually last quite a long time on me without primer. Even after rubbing my eyes the other day when I was wearing that berry tone look, I rubbed my eyes and it was still there. Like obviously some of it lifted off, but the remnants of it was still there. So, you know, I feel like these shadows do actually adhere to my eyelids, which is a great thing. So this is my look today. I've used quite a bit of shimmer today. I've started in with Fez all over the eyelid, and then I decided to layer Hadia, which is this bronze shade. This is not a shade that I would normally go for because I don't really wear a whole ton of bronze, but I think it's a really nice warm shimmer. Really good pigmentation. I didn't use it with a wet base or a sticky glue or anything like that. And then in the center, I've added Aziza, and I've also put that on the inner corner. I don't often do it. It's a weekend and it's super, super blindingly bright. It is a gorgeous inner corner highlight if you like to highlight that area. I did decide also to go back in with Taza and just add that into the crease a little bit just to kind of gradiate that those browns out a little. Did the same thing on the lower lash line, pretty much used a combination of these 2 browns. It's a very, very warm look. I feel like I've really kind of veered away from warm toned shades. Even the browns I use nowadays, I tend to go for my Pretty Cool palette from Dose of Colors, which are cool browns. Yeah, it's a phase that I've kind of gone through and I'm moving on to cooler tone shades. And so for me, even though this is it's not by any means a revolutionary look or anything like that, it's something that I haven't done in a long time, so it's a little bit different for me. Just added a little bit of Suicune lip gloss in Milk Tea Beige. Love this lip gloss, and we're good to go for the day. I also did Tightline with this crayon from Linda Hallberg. This is Atrio Flash. It's a dark navy blue. I decided to just make it a little bit more sultry today and just why not? So I have decided to go in with mostly blues today. Just these 2 metallic shades as a liner, and kind of did a halo liner where I used this shade as the base and then just used a little bit of this in the center just to create some sort of gradient and dimension. And I think these 2 shades really pair well together because I was kind of wondering how to use this shade in amongst everything else. This shade it's a very light kind of greenish blue metallic shade. It's interesting. I just don't tend to wear these kind of colors all so often, so I was a little bit stumped as to how I could incorporate it because that's the only shade that I haven't used so far. But I think together like this, it looks really nice, quite subtle. I do have to say though that this blue shade does have a ton of fallout. I did have to keep cleaning it up. I did use a brush dry. I used an angle brush. This is a Ray Morris. No, this is not a Ray Morris brush. This is a Yohjia brush. Probably best maybe to use it with a wet brush or a sticky base. I didn't do any of that because I tend to find that Juvia's Place eyeshadows hold up really well on their own without the help of an adhesive or anything like that. So that's why I didn't do that. And then I used this matte brown Fez on the lower lash line just to give my lower lash line some dimension. Super simple look. I haven't done like a liner look in a very long time. I like it. I really like this look and it matches my top. Well, actually, I chose the top after I did the makeup because I don't know, I like to match my makeup with my outfit. On my lips, I'm also wearing the Emile Cordon lip balm in Chick Chick Boom that was kindly sent to me by this brand because lately it's colder and my lips are just getting super dry, so I'm just opting for more creamy formulations recently, lip balms, because my lips just need a little bit of hydration at the moment and I'm also a little bit sick, so I don't know if you can tell. I think that's the great thing about makeup is you can hide your ailments. You can hide the fact that you're feeling really terrible and really tired with makeup. So today is wear 5. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm feeling quite under the weather. I am so congested, so I'm gonna keep this really short and quick. I basically used the majority of the shades in this palette. The only shades that I didn't use was this one, which is Aziza. I used every other shade from this palette except for that one. I started off with this shade, Fez. This is so much fallout, really messy. This is Fez, the deepest matte brown. I used that at the outer V. Then went in with this one, which is Zora on the center. And then on the inner portion of my eyelid, used Taza. And then layered the corresponding shimmers on top. So I layered on this one, which is Hadia, over the brown. I layered the maroon shade, Nomad, over the red, and then Marrakesh on the inner corner. And then I decided to use a little bit of this metallic green on the inner corner, and then sort of took it up like a liner, and then created a gradient with this deeper metallic blue shade. And then on the lower lash line, I kept it all mattes, so did the same thing except didn't use any of the metallics. And that's the look. I feel like it's unnecessarily complicated and layered. So there are a lot of layers to this look, and I think despite the fact that a lot of it's been layered, it does look quite nice. It looks well blended. I don't think it looks muddy or anything like that. You can see the distinct shades in there and the nuances in between. And I actually really like the blue contrast with the warmer shades. I think that the inclusion of these two shades was really clever with this palette. And then on the lips, because my lips are feeling so dry, I've been using glosses mostly. This is my favorite gloss from Suku. This is the limited edition one in 105, I believe. So that concludes my Project 5 wears. I hope you've enjoyed all the looks. Let me know in the comments down below which one's your favorite. Very curious to know. I actually really like this one. Probably one of my favorites was the liner look with the just using these two shades. I think that was really pretty. And overall, I think this is a really nice palette. The quality is good, especially considering the price point of this palette. The metallics are great because you don't need to wet your brush or use a glitter glue or anything like that, because I don't. If I don't have to, I won't. So that's great. My ideal type of metallic formula is one that's intense and does not require a lot of effort to use. The mattes aren't my favorite, but they're definitely buildable, workable, and the ones from this palette are pretty good. I know from palette to palette there are formulation differences, there are some inconsistencies. I know some palettes people say are better than others, so you know, this palette I think is quite good. I would have to say though, if I'm using this on a long-term basis, I probably would get bored of it because it's very warm, and a majority of it is shimmers. So it's not something I would reach for all the time, but every now and again I think this is quite a bit of fun. And the fact that there are blues incorporated with the warm shades I think is really clever. It just makes it a little bit more versatile, a little bit more different. In general, I really like blues as well, mixed in with warmer shades. So I think this is a lovely color story, and I've really enjoyed using it. The one thing that does kind of bother me a little is that it doesn't have a mirror, because then I could just use a mirror and without getting off my own handheld mirror, which it's a small matter. I mean, if it means that the price is kept down, I can understand, but personally I like palettes with mirrors, so yeah. That's one of my few complaints about this palette. And I preferably would like more mattes, but I'll take what I can get. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please go watch Mariam's video. I'm going to link it in the description below in the cards. I'm so curious to see what look she's creating, because I know she's super creative with her makeup, and we have different eye shapes and different preferences with applying eyeshadow, so it's always fun to see what she creates. Hopefully I get over this cold really soon, because I hate being sick. I mean, who does? I hope wherever you are well and not sick, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.